My dear attendees, perhaps you are of the mind that 14 is the number of relief and fortune. After all, it follows the presumably unlucky number 13. If you thought that, though, you would be wrong, for 14 is nothing but an omen of misfortune, as I shall demonstrate. 14 and religion. One might think that being double the number of the divine number 7, 14 would be double the blessing. Nay, instead, when you encounter 14 in faith, prepare yourself for the required suffering that necessarily precedes only the possibility of later suffering. Consider the greatest suffering in the New Testament, the suffering of Christ. There are 14 stations of the cross which depict the suffering of Jesus, who was then crucified on the 14th day of Nisan. In China, the number 14 is recognized as very unlucky. It is in the very way that it is pronounced, 1-4 shesi, which sounds like want to die. Imagine your birthday greeting if you're born on the 14th. Happy Want to Die Day, everyone. In other beliefs, such as tarot, 14 is the card of temperance, reasonableness, and self-control, all very nearly impossible things to maintain in this very chaotic world. But here's the thing. You suffer if you want to earn temperance by withholding your true feelings, or even at times withholding justice in the name of great injustice. But you also suffer if you fail to earn temperance because you suffer conflict and chaos your entire life. No matter what you do, you lose. Even the Dalai Lama, the face of Buddhism for decades, is plagued for being the 14th reincarnation from a long line of holiness. Despite being beloved by so many and even winning the Nobel Peace Prize, he has been in exile for more than 60 years, all because he is the 14th reincarnation. But let us move from religion to love. Most know the holiday for lovers, but St. Valentine's Day actually has a pretty grim origin story. Ancient Roman men used to celebrate the fertility festival of Lupercalia by sacrificing dogs and goats and then whipping the women with the hides of the dead animals in hopes of increasing the woman's fertility. The good old days of courtship. Speaking of Valentine's Day, just how often does it actually live up to all the hype? So consider the following more often than not Valentine's Day gone wrong scenarios. He or she just doesn't show up. It doesn't get much worse than that. The only worst day to be left waiting for the never-to-arrive beau is your wedding day. Or perhaps he or she does show up with some lame excuse that doesn't make up for the entire restaurant pitying you for the last half hour. Or perhaps he does show up, but your gift is tacky. The stuffed bear holding a pillow with the same empty, embroidered, romantic platitude at every other last-minute that's all they had left gift got or got. Nice. Or perhaps the perennial romantic gift of toilet paper. Or the new trend, his and her matching tongue scrapers. Nothing says romantic like that. In fact, nothing says, I don't actually love you, I barely tolerate you, than not getting a piece of gold jewelry. Well, I guess this cake might actually say it. Let me just digress here for one quick second. Speaking of gold jewelry, did you know that all the necklaces, bracelets, and earrings that we get just for Valentine's Day generates an extra 40 million tons of mind waste a year? We love you, Earth. Happy Valentine's Day. Moreover, according to the World Resources Institute, the thousands of extra flowers that are bought just for this day have a huge negative impact on the environment because of all the pesticides that are used way more frequently for these types of flowers than for any other kind of plant, and even for foods. Finally, think of all the cards, candy, and plastic packaging that are then thrown away at the end of Valentine's Day. Nothing says love like waste. But I digress. Back to our list of Valentine's Day normal. Your flowers smell like gasoline. It's 9 o'clock on Valentine's Day and your honey shows up on your doorstep wearing a very pathetic expression and a very sad bunch of flowers that undeniably reek of gasoline. Or perhaps everything does go okay and you get to this beautiful restaurant only to realize he did not make reservations. So while you happily look at the hostess just knowing she's going to sit you at the best table in the house, he's hoping beyond all hopes that basically somebody has canceled and you can find a table. Nobody canceled. You're not getting a table. Instead, you end up at a burger joint in your best dress or ordering a small pizza at home in your best wig of the day. All right, we get it, we get it. 14 and love do not mix, but 14 death and danger do. I present to you the briefest of list of the people we have lost on the 14th. I wasn't even able to get through 1/20th of the list this number has taken from us. O 14, you thief of great people. In addition to the deaths, some pretty awful things have happened on the 14th, including Adam Lanza shooting and killing 20 children, a death sentence against Salman Rushdie for publishing his book, a university experiment gone very wrong, and poor Albert, the very first monkey to make it all the way into space, only to die on his way back down because his parachute didn't work. All these events happening on the 14th. And finally, you guys, look what 14 has done for us. It has separated us. This is the very first G4G in all of history, G4G14, which we are not physically all together. So instead of this, and this, and this, and this, we get this, and this. Well, maybe not so bad, because the amazing G4G team is great, but come even between us. Thank you very much.